Yes, I would like to ask you, do you believe in the Martin Luther King theory, or are you strictly communist? Also, like I was born and raised on a farm, and I can't use all these philosophical words, so forth and so on, and I'm not, well, I went a year and a half of junior college, but I didn't get a degree. But I would really like to know, do you believe a person like John Roseberg told me, the professional baseball player said once, you can go to elementary school and you learn a little knowledge. And when you come out of high school, you're supposed to learn common sense. But when you go to college, that's where your degrees come in. That's where your education come in. He said you can miss one of the three and you can come out of school an educated fool. Do you believe people are supposed to have common sense or the education?
Let's see, I think I can detect three questions.
That's
On the
true.
first question, as a brother born on a farm, if I use words which you don't understand, please, let me tell you that what you should do is to write those words down and go study them and know them as well as I know them. Because there's nothing I can do that you can't do. And you must never let anybody whoop you with any knowledge, because it belongs to everybody. And as your brother, I urge you and encourage you to learn these words and to understand them, to know capitalism, to know communism, and to know socialism. I urge you to know them for yourself, not to take my word for it or anybody else's word for it, because they're forces that are fighting in the world over it. On your question about Dr. King, no conscious man, no conscious woman can have any principled disagreement with Dr. King. I, being a conscious man, striving every day to be more conscious than I was yesterday, can never have any principled disagreement with Dr. King. Dr. King was a man who demonstrated properly that above all, the interests of the masses came first. He clearly demonstrated that the value of his life could never be questioned in terms of a relationship in regards to the people's interest. Myself, for me, this is the greatest good. This is the best life that a man can live. I, however, do disagree with Dr. King on certain tactical areas. Now, the confusion arises, again, once you make a mistake, you see the press will help to create and widen the diversions. The problem arises because Dr. King, while being a great man, while being a sincere man, while being a devout man, was a man who made some mistakes. The mistakes he made represent us because he fought for us. He came from us. He fought with us. Therefore, we have a responsibility to properly analyze the mistakes that Dr. King made so that we ourselves do not repeat these mistakes. The television press, the mass media, those who control the society today do not want this. As a matter of fact, they want to further confuse us. Let me show you how the confusion can arise. They can say, for example, Dr. Martin Luther King, and right out of Dr. Martin Luther King, next word coming out their mouth is nonviolence. So that when you talk about Dr. King, as a matter of fact, all you talk about is nonviolence. The very question which you raise is that when you say the Dr. Martin Luther King theory, I know what you mean to say, nonviolence. Dr. King's error was that he confused a tactic with a principle. Nonviolence is not a principle. It cannot be. It can only be a tactic. It is a means to achieve certain ends. Dr. King, because he was an honest man, because he was a sincere man, because he was a dedicated man, and because he had a history of theology, it was easy for him to confuse this tactic, nonviolence, and make it a principle. Once Dr. King made the confusion of making a tactic a principle, that is to make nonviolence, which is a tactic a principle, Dr. King now had to say, because he was an honest man, that the only way we can achieve our liberation is through nonviolence. What he now did was to say the only way. If you examine properly this statement, it means that if Dr. King could achieve his liberation by getting an army together and a battalion together and waging some struggle with the army, he won't do it. That the only way he will do it is through nonviolence. Obviously, this is an error. Nonviolence is not a principle, it is a tactic. As a member of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, I didn't join the Southern Christian Leadership Conference because the Southern Christian Leadership Conference advocated that nonviolence must be a way of life, a principle. I joined the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, which advocated that nonviolence was a tactic. That is to say, for us in SNCC, if we could achieve our liberation, if we could achieve our objective by being nonviolent, we'd be nonviolent. But if in order to achieve the liberation of our people, we have to throw some hand grenades, we're chucking them. I hope you understood it.